r/askreddit, what's an indescribable pain? I am so sorry that you are dealing with an incredible amount of pain. Gout. Especially if it's a major acute attack. That shit hurts so fucking bad it's made me want to chop my foot off with a rusty axe if that would make it feel better. Also, the systemic inflammation with gout is a bitch too. Gout is the worst pain I've ever experienced. Hands down. I've had abscessed teeth, had flesh split open wide, sprains and breaks. None of it comes close to the pure agony of a bad gout flare-up. Like you said, I'd have let someone chop my leg off. Fuck that shit. The sudden death of someone, human or otherwise, who you love. Heartbreak in general. It really can cause your heart to physically ache, just on and on and on. Unrelated to emotional anguish, cluster headaches. I always thought my heart sank was just an expression until I felt it. Weirdest fucking feeling ever, fucks with your whole body but specifically it feels like your chest shrinks and falls. Kidney stone. Kidney stones. So much pain that I kept on puking the whole way to the hospital. Sciatic nerve pain. I had a slip disc for 3 years. The pain got worse and worse, but they refused to operate on me until I lost continence. Well, once the surgery was over, I had a 12-inch scar up my spine and was told that I'd need a week in bed before physical therapy, as it was so bad. Yeah, no. Same day, I was up and interacting with the PT people, because the pain of surgery was almost non-existent compared to that sciatic nerve pain. Migraines. I once tried to explain what they felt like to a friend who never gets headaches and he just looked at me like I was from another planet. Having a tooth infection so bad that it points your other teeth in different directions because of the swelling. Used to have migraines regularly until I had a stroke and they stopped after that. I wouldn't recommend it as a way to stop them. Dry socket after having a wisdom tooth removed. A single drop of clove oil literally takes the pain from a 9/10 to 0 instantly. I absolutely couldn't believe how well it worked. People should be given a bottle for every wisdom tooth extraction just in case. Mine lasted for weeks. And they wouldn't give me opioids, so I basically just cried a lot. Slip disc. When I had it, I couldn't even get out of bed, worst pain I've ever experienced. Ice-pick feeling migraines. An exposed tooth nerve. Watching your wife be in a severe state of depression and no matter what you do, not being able to help or pull her out of it. As the wife with clinical depression in my own marriage, thanks for being there for her. Watching your wife with this also develop an eating disorder and not know how to help, let alone be allowed to help. Even being blamed for it in the moment. Abscess on the spinal cord. In my case it was the L2 L3. 6 months undiagnosed. Ate the entire vertebra. Having an impacted tooth that causes cellulitis going up to your eyes, heading for your brain. I had it a month or so back and it still hurts. Transmural bowel endometriosis flaring up causing partial obstruction and a BM passing by the lesion. And an upvote for you. IUD insertion. Yes. And when they do cervical biopsies. Why the hell are you able to take a hole punch to my cervix with no pain meds? Death of a parent. And brother. Then having survivor's guilt after finding and fixing a genetic defect because you lost a dad and brother. Fuck, I miss them. Shoulder surgery. I had to have mine rebuilt years ago. When I asked the surgeon how much it will hurt, he said, "I'm not gonna lie. It is some of the worst pain a person can experience." Sadly, he was spot on. Geez. Torn rotator cuff? You are making me very concerned, as I currently have a torn rotator cuff and I'm putting off surgery because I don't have time for rehab. How long was the recovery for you? Do you have any limitations now with the affected shoulder? All things considered, is it worth it? Voiding cystourethrogram. They insert a catheter up through the penis into the bladder to fill it with contrast dye and check the continuity of the urethra. Had to do it twice a year till I was 6 years old. The mere memory of it causes physical pain/PTSD and I've never had sex because I'm too afraid to let anyone near my genitals. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Have you received or considered therapy? Rib pops out of your spine and wedges under your shoulder blade. I wished for death. This one is oddly specific, but here you go. Being stuck in a mental hospital and being temporarily insane, while being aware that you are insane but you can't control it. Your family comes to visit and you know they don't even recognize you. I had this one happen to me twice, thanks to allergies to different psych meds. Not fun. Endometriosis. Trigeminal neuralgia. Can't believe I had to scroll so far down for this. Bilateral trigeminal neuralgia attacks that take up your whole face. Worse than slip discs, dry sockets, but about on par with cluster headaches. Waking up and looking into the mirror every morning. Are you okay, bro? Post-adult circumcision, morning wood with penis stitches. I was circumcised at 13. Erections every minute of the day as a horny teenager were not fun at all. Sometimes I can still smell the blood. Losing someone you love. Death of a child. You get the upvote, but please say no more, unless it happened while doing some common everyday shit that I should avoid. I don't need that picture painted in my mind. Violently vomiting frequently for days after getting your tonsils removed. I can't adequately describe how the pain felt, but the closest I could come is imagine taking a wad of sandpaper, covering it in Japaleo oil, attaching it to a drill, lighting it on fire, shoving it down your throat, and then turning the drill on. It was awful in so many ways, especially with dehydration setting in. Getting a bone-setting pin pulled out. Esophageal tear. ARS, acute radiation sickness. Unmedicated labor. Reliving a traumatic experience. Trying to sit on a butt oil. Ovarian cysts. I suck his cock so then it turns into dick breath. Muck dive first. I have a condition called neurofibromatosis, type 1, my body is filled, hundreds, of benign tumors that grow on nerve endings. The pain is frequent and sometimes debilitating. I'm a clean freak, so I tend to just do a full body clean whenever sex is on the table. Even in the morning. Everybody talks about morning breath, but nobody wants to talk about butthole stank from all the farts people rattle off in their sleep. Glad you can't hold your breath for 14 seconds. Get rid of it by eating each other's ass first. Suffocate, I will reach the promised land. There's a well-known facility the brain has for shutting off any repulsive stimuli while sufficiently aroused. Get the foreplay right and you won't even notice the stank. I always piss first thing in the morning. So I give my teeth a brush and my mouth a rinse as well. Morning breath is repulsive. I don't jam my nose in her mouth. Avoid it until horny enough to not care. We don't care. Morning, noon, night, no matter what we've had to eat or drink. The only time it's ever been an issue, which we avoided, was I had accidentally ordered a shrimp dish that almost melted my tongue. I wasn't going to risk it with her for at least 2 brushes, a few rounds of mouthwash. Well, having spent the last year and a half with numbing and painful cramping that doctors can't find a reason for makes reading that unsettling. I'm sorry you have to go through that. I eat my wife's ass. I couldn't care less about her morning breath. A true samurai faces any challenges that comes his way. Vaginas can't smell your breath before and after your breath smells awesome. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Brush my teeth? NF is a bummer friend. Have 40 up and down my femoral artery. Lost my right leg to it. Peace to you, friend.